Welcome to the mixing room.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Trent.
Guys, I'm so excited for the episode we have for you today. Before we look, we're going to get into this conversation, and it was one of the most easygoing conversations I think we've had on this show. I mean, it's very easy to talk to our guests. They all have great things to share and great stories to tell. And obviously, everybody you kind of pull in a different direction with. But the direction that this conversation ended up going was just incredible. And it really focuses on music and on what that thing is that inspires you to write and inspires you to play and inspires you to be an artist in the first place. And part of the thing that makes the artists that have been around for generations stick around. And Trent you actually went with our guest from today to see one of those great artists.
Yes, absolutely. Our guest from today and I had the incredible opportunity to see the Eagles here in Nashville during Act 3 of the long farewell tour, the long goodbye farewell tour.
One of what feels like many farewell tours.
Yes, so that's the fun part about it, is that this tour did start in 2023, and here we are still. Technically, it has been going on for 3 years now, even though this act only has 4 tour stops and then the residency back in the Sphere again. It was an incredible experience. Being completely candid, never would have thought I would have gotten to see those guys live. I just didn't think I would have had the opportunity to before this farewell tour ended, even though who knows how long it'll continue.
Hey, I felt the same way a couple of years ago, man. And for those of you who don't know at home, I went to see the Eagles at the Sphere in 2024. And it was the same thing. It was like, there's an act that's, like a bucket list act that you kind of just surrendered. You're just like, I'm never going to see them. And that's okay. And then when the opportunity knocks.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you saw them outdoors in a stadium.
Yes.
Which could arguably be the best way to see the Eagles, because that music is just so known and so loved.
Yeah, as God intended, in the open air. Smoking aloud, not really. That was definitely an awesome experience. We get into it a little bit more in our interview today, but it was just extremely inspirational on so many levels as a musician, as just a bandmate, seeing them working together when they have worked together for so long, at least many of them, and then bringing in the new additions pretty seamlessly on top of that, I think is only possible because those bandmates work so well together. It's truly inspirational on several levels.
Yeah, and the thing I think I love most about, and I know that there's, if you watch any of the documentary on the Eagles, like their chemistry as a band, obviously they have a complicated history and they've had falling outs over the years and reunion tours and, they all take separate cars to the show type thing. But ultimately what they're doing it for, at least in my belief, is the music. And just they're making music to make music. There's no financial need or ego need. Like, they don't have anything to prove. They're just still doing it because they can still do it. And I think today's guest embodies a lot of that. Not in the sense of still doing it, but in the sense of having nothing to prove. This is the first time, I think, that we've had an artist on the show who hasn't put any music on streaming. This is truly an artist's artist. But I think anybody who is a fan of good music, especially classic country music.
Yes.
If you're a fan of old school country, you're going to love this episode, because this is one of those rare treats where we had a guest bring a guitar and she was willing to plug in and play.
Yeah.
So, she's got nothing to promote but her own incredible music, not out on streaming, but it's available here on this show. So without further ado, listen to our conversation and a few performances from Arden Snead.
All right, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
All right, guys. How's it going?
Oh, it's going, isn't it?
Oh, it's going. Yeah.
Arden, welcome to the mixing room.
Thanks, guys. I'm so glad to be here. I really honestly thought this day would never come.
I didn't. I knew this day would come. I knew it would take some encouraging for you,
for
because you are such a good artist, but you are so humble. I'm so glad we have you in front of a microphone that we can
Thanks.
just a teeny tiny bit force you to talk about yourself.
Okay, that's fine. I can get with that.
Yeah. Well, we are both North Carolina natives, though we didn't know each other until we made it to Nashville.
Amen. Yeah, I know. And we don't even remember how we met.
That's so true.
Like, how did we even meet? I feel like we were just friends.
In college, but like,
Yeah.
how?
I've never heard this story, and in my head, it just kind of like spontaneously just existed one day.
I feel like we probably met up for lunch or something, like to do like a friend, like where you try to see if you actually want to be friends with
But
somebody.
how would we have gotten to that part?
Like,
You know what I'm saying?
Instagram or
Insta?
something.
Yeah, I
Instagram or
guess,
something.
probably.
Like a class of 2020.
Yeah.
Or I guess incoming class of 24.
Yeah. It probably could have been that. I feel like you were really the only person I knew from, like, Raleigh,
Yeah.
Durham.
Have you guys ever seen Mater's Tall Tales?
Yes, I
The
have.
shorts?
I have not.
I haven't seen them in years.
Sorry.
The Cars universe? Well, like, the form is that, like, Mater tells this ridiculous story, and then halfway through, Lightning McQueen's like, there's no way this is real. And then Mater's like, don't you remember? You were there. And then suddenly, Lightning McQueen is also in the story. I think that's what happened. One of you
That's
was
kind of
like,
how it feels.
don't you remember? You were just there. And then
Yeah.
it just,
Oh, yeah. I guess
Yeah.
I was there.
Existed.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
that corner one day.
That's got to be how it is. Because I
Yeah.
know in the second half of college, we used to every once in a while, Arden and I would meet up in Kiki and like get some slushies and maybe put some kind of alcohol in them, maybe not, depending on the day.
Yeah.
And we would just go to the
Surreal.
gas station on campus and go sit somewhere on campus and catch up, look at the stars, talk about life.
For real.
But it would be
Honestly.
like, these were rare occurrences. Like it wasn't like we did this every week.
Yeah.
But it was something we did regularly.
Spontaneous.
Yeah.
Late night.
Regularly enough to where it
Like-
was like, hey, it's been a couple months. Like, let's do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was, I don't know how that only could exist because of whatever came before it.
Yeah.
We don't know what came before it. We have collective amnesia.
No
Yeah.
clue. Couldn't even tell you.
But before you knew me, you were growing up in North Carolina.
Yeah.
A parallel life to mine.
Yeah. It's right around the corner for me, I guess.
Yeah. We're literally, in some ways, right down the road.
Yeah, not too far.
But, I mean, obviously, I was cutting my teeth musically.
Mm-hmm.
You were, in some ways, I guess, already cutting yours. Like, when did music enter your life? What was it or who was it that inspired you to pick up the guitar?
That's a great question. Music entered my life when I was a baby. Like, it was the only way my parents could get me to fall asleep as a kid was if they played Bob Seger really, really loud. And yeah, it was just, I think at some point when I was young, there was always a lot of music being played in my house. And at some point, maybe when I was 4 or 5, it just kind of occurred to me like, oh, like people are making this. Like, this can be made. Like, it's not a foreign thing. Like, this is like something people can actually create. And I don't really know what made me think of it, but like my grandma got me a guitar for like my 5th birthday or something. It was purple. It was this little acoustic thing, had like pink stars on it. It was freaking metal. And I learned on that little thing before I got my real first one when I was...
Learned Bob Seger music?
No, I learned the like E minor, G, D, C. Like I learned like...
Bob Seger music.
Yes.
The wind.
Maybe
Yes.
little wheels on the bus go around.
Maybe, yes. But I didn't really... Yeah, I feel like it just kind of arrived. And when I picked it up, it just felt right. And it's not like I'm the king of guitar. It's not like I can really actually play well. Like I can make
Yes, you
make
can.
music, but I'm
Yes,
not
you
like
can.
I'm not doing crazy stuff. I got that Les Paul. It just sits in a corner. But
You're more than a competent guitar player, but that is not all that you do either. So at what point did like singing and stuff enter the equation?
that's a good question. I mean, I always sang as a little kid. Like even when I was like 3 or 4, I always sang like Mary Had a Little Lamb. And I was like always singing like the ABCs and all these things. I started singing the Beatles when I was like 3. And it's just, before I was really making coherent sentences as like a 1.5, 2-year-old, I was singing and singing the melody and singing like it just kind of happened. But I don't think I really realized like, oh, maybe I'm sort of good at this until I was like in middle school. Really. But singing, I mean, there was a choir teacher when I was in 8th grade. I'd never done choir, never had interest in choir. And I played a talent show the summer before at my school. And she happened to have been there, Miss Moore. I'll never forget her. And she was like, can you come to the choir room and sing for me? I was like, sure, whatever, lady. Like, I don't know who you are. Roll up to the choir room, sing a couple bars, and she lets me loose. And when I get back to school in August, my elective is choir. And I'm like, I didn't audition for the freaking choir. So I go to Miss Moore. I'm like, hey, what's the deal? Like, I've got this thing, but I didn't do anything for you. She's like, yeah, you did. You remember when you came and sang for me? And I was like, I didn't know you were going to put me in the choir. And then I got an award at the end of the year because I was the attendance taker.
Wow.
That shows work ethic, though. That shows you wanting to be there.
Yeah, I was on time, and I made sure nobody was doing anything stupid, and, you know, I wore the dress, and I wore all the crazy things, and, like, it was, you know, went to all the competitions and everything, and never did choir again after 8th grade.
But that's where you really honed your skill as a vocalist.
That was really one of the first times I had ever sang with other people, I think, was in this group of 8th graders. And I don't even remember what we were singing, probably like very traditional things, but it was the first time that I had ever really been in a group of people. And it's like, oh, we're all collaborating and making this thing. And it was also the first and only time I was actually taking music direction from somebody, you know, who's like conducting you and who's showing you like, this is sight reading, this is a staff, and this is, you know, whatever, which inevitably all went out the window the next year. And I almost failed out of music theory when I was in high school.
Yeah, I barely got through AP music theory.
I didn't even take honors. It was a standard class, and I just about failed it.
It's not easy.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense to most
Yeah.
people like yourself,
Yeah.
who are like creatives and writers first.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It makes sense to the mathematical people.
Yeah.
The people who are whizzes at guitar.
Right.
Because it is inherently mathematical.
Yeah.
But the lyricists, the songwriters, the storytellers, it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense to them.
But kind of like what you're playing off of that is like, even when I talk to my mom about music and everything, she always says you always were writing first. Like, I would fill up books and books and books of like made up, make believe, whatever, like all these characters, and I would just chapter 1, chapter 2, and I was just constantly head in the notebook writing like it was my prized possession all through elementary school.
So how early were you singing and playing guitar together, and then how early were you playing your own songs that way? I think we've talked about this before, but
Yeah.
the talent show, right? Does it go back to the
Yeah,
talent show
yeah, it
again?
goes back to the talent show. So I started really playing guitar. I was taking lessons from one of my mom's, our family friends, their son, Jordan, shout out Jordan, I love that guy, was teaching me guitar. And he taught me like my first couple chords, and we got through some songs, and he was so patient with me, I remember. And I was just like probably frustrated at the world because I was like, I want to do this thing and I want to do it well, but I'm 7 and I can't. And it's like, I have to practice. I don't want to. It's like, you guys know the whole thing. But the first song I ever learned on guitar was Jumper by Third Eye Blind. Cool. And I learned to play it and I would sing it at the same time. And that was really the first time that had ever really happened. But I wrote that song for my talent show and I was like in 5th grade because I was like, I don't really know what sparked in my brain, but I just kind of thought like, I can do this. And if I'm going to do something like this, like I should just go all the way. I should just full send it. And I remember writing this song and getting like standing ovation. And I don't even remember. I mean, the song was probably like so stupid and like I was 10, but it was just really cool to do that and to kind of think like, oh, like this is something I can keep doing. Yeah.
So when do you, because you end up going to Belmont.
Yeah.
And you end up like, I mean, to move to Nashville with the
Yeah.
intention of making music is,
Yeah.
that's a big step, even if you think you're good at it.
Yeah.
So when does that become really tangible for you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because you can have this idea of, oh, maybe when I go to college, I'll keep gigging or,
Yeah.
you know. When does it become like, no, I'm going to move to Nashville
Yeah.
and I'm going to keep making music and I'm going to study in this industry and
Yeah.
I'm going to really go 100%
Yeah.
at it?
It honestly hit me like a bus in a really good way, like a bus that came out of left field. Like, I don't even think I knew I was doing it until I was there. Like, I just remember, I feel like I was pretty set on, let me back up because I can like hear my mom's like, had no clue what you were doing. I can hear her. And I was looking around at different schools and I was toying with journalism because I really liked writing and I did newspaper in high school and I loved journalism. And, I looked at a couple schools for journalism and my mom
Did you look
said,
at Elon?
No,
I looked at Elon for communications.
I looked at Syracuse.
Really?
I would not have survived at Syracuse if you know me. I wouldn't have survived at Syracuse. Go Big Orange. Anyways. Yeah, it just, my mom was like, I mean, I have a cousin who lives here in Nashville, and I would visit with my aunt and uncle once a year maybe, and that's how I ended up playing the Bluebird for the first time when I was like 16. I did that. And my mom was like, there's a school.
Wait, elaborate on that. You're not just going to breeze over playing the Bluebird at 16.
Okay, it wasn't
It's
really.
like you and Taylor Swift who've done that.
It wasn't really like that though.
Come on.
Like, okay,
Come
so
on.
it's, yeah, I was 16. I was maybe about to be 16. I don't remember. I'm in high school and going to visit my cousin and her family with my aunt and uncle over MLK weekend. And it's like freezing cold. It's snowy. This is the first time I've been to Nashville. Never been here. Didn't even really conceptualize, like, this is Music City. I'm in Tennessee. Like, I was just kind of there. Like, oh, I'm visiting my cousin, whatever. And I brought my guitar with me because, you know, I knew enough to bring my guitar with me. And I remember this was back when you had to call in for a spot on the writers' nights. Now you have to audition. And it's freaking impossible because I've auditioned and it's like, I've already done this and somehow I just can't. Anyways, it's a whole other sidebar. But we were all sitting around the table with, we each had a phone. So like 6 phones. And the line was supposed to open at like 9 a.m. So there's only 25 spots and you have to call. You have to get in line and call the number and just keep calling until you get a hold of someone, and then you can put yourself on the list. So we were calling for probably 10 minutes, and I'm like, guys, there's no way this is going to work. My uncle gets the line. He slides the phone, the little flip phone, over to me across the table, and I grab it, and he's like, do your thing. And I'm like, hi, my name's Arden, and do you guys have any spots for the writers round left? And she's like, yeah, we do. You know, tell me what you play, whatever. First and last name, whatever. And she's like, all right, see you at 6 o'clock. And I like look at my family and I'm like, do you guys have plans after dinner? Like, what do you like? They're like, no, like we're going to the Bluebird. So we load up in my cousin's truck and we all head over to the Bluebird, and it's me and my aunt and uncle and my cousin and her husband, and I was number 5 in line, and I got to play 2 songs, and I just got up there and did my thing. And I never remember feeling stage fright before until that moment. That might be one of the only times I've ever experienced what I think is stage fright. And I just remember meeting so many cool people and just talking to, I mean, there were these 2 people there that played right after me who were these 2 sisters from Australia. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? Like, you flew from freaking down under, and like now you're here at the Bluebird with me playing music. And it was just like, it was genuinely the coolest thing.
I have no follow-up questions. I'm completely blown away.
How do you pick 2 songs out of your catalog at 16 to play
that's
the
good.
Bluebird?
Well, to be fair, when I was 16, I didn't have much of a catalog.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, 2 songs.
yes. To be fair, I didn't have much of a catalog, but when I was in high school, I feel like high school was when I started writing every day. And if it wasn't 1 song, it was 2 or 3 or 4. Like, I would get home and I would do my homework for like however long. The rest of the night, it was guitar in hand in my room, door shut, just writing constantly. Yeah. And I could write them and spit them out like I was brushing my freaking teeth. Like, it was just turn them and burn them. Okay, next idea. Like, I filled up notebook after notebook after notebook, like all the time. But I think those 2 that I had were just ones I had written recently. And I was like, these will do, you know, whatever.
They're on the top of your head.
Picking songs for the Bluebird. These will do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was 16, I was naive. I still kind of am, but I don't think I really understood the gravity or the history behind it, or what that really meant, or what that
But isn't
was
that in its own way a little bit
for me
beautiful and poignant? You know what I mean? Like, you got to kind of passively do a phenomenal thing.
Yeah.
Like, because as an adult or as a more experienced person, as somebody who's lived in Nashville, somebody who's, as you would maybe say, less naive, you would put an unfair pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
you were just able to do it
Yeah.
because in the best of ways, I mean this, it meant nothing to you. Like,
Yeah.
like it meant something to
For
you,
real.
but it was just, we called it, yeah, I got a spot. All right. I guess I'm going to do these 2 songs. They seem pretty good.
It genuinely wasn't really a thought I kind of had. Like, I think I just remember my family being like, how do we do this? And they were, you know, Googling, looking up on their phones, whatever. And they're like, oh, here's the line we have to call. This is when it happens. I remember we're eating pancakes. Like, my cousin has made pancakes, and, you know, there's like fruit salad on the table, and we have orange juice, and I have coffee, and I'm like 16. I've like never had coffee before. And I'm like drinking my coffee, and I'm like doing, you know, I'm like, oh, this is so much fun. And they're all talking about it. And I just remember they all pull out their phones. And I'm like, what are we doing? And they're like, here's the deal. And then my uncle gets a hold of the person. I can just remember him sliding the phone to me right across the table, and I catch it, and he's just like, do your thing.
Were you nervous when you answered that phone, or did it feel like this was a call you were waiting for?
It was an out-of-body experience. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't really know what the bluebird is. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, whatever. I feel like I've always been pretty decent socially, so I was like, yeah, I don't really know what's going to happen. And I was kind of expecting them to say, like, sorry, we don't have any more spots. But I ended up being number 5 in the order. So even though we were calling for 10 minutes...
Well, so no wonder you come out here to make music. I mean, if that's your first time
That's
in
the
Nashville,
taste I got. I know. And
no wonder.
from there, no, I'm kidding. Like, from there, it's all downhill. No, but I did get that taste for it. And I just remember being on Broadway, you know, I was underage, so I really couldn't get in anywhere after like 9 or 9:30. But I just remember walking around Broadway in the broad daylight and going to the Johnny Cash Museum and like going to get old-fashioned candy at the old candy place and looking at all the signs. And I had my camera. I had gotten a Nikon camera from my parents the Christmas before we went, so like a few weeks before we went. And I remember taking my camera and taking pictures, and my uncle's a professional photographer, so he's like showing me, we're setting up the shots, we're doing all the things, and it just kind of felt like New York City in a way that I got.
Yeah. Your
yeah.
experience with it was just full of art in several ways.
It was so cool. I was like, this place is awesome. You can like listen to records and like be kind of emo. And I like wore my green like bomber jacket, and I had blue hair at the time. And I was like, I'm just like, whatever.
I'm gonna
just
see a picture. Not right this second, but
it was just the under part. It was just the under. My mom wouldn't let me do the whole head. It was just like the back.
Yeah.
It was like bright teal.
Yeah.
That's my journey to the bluebird.
So then you move out to Nashville
Yeah.
for college. You make that choice. You come to Belmont. You meet me somewhere in there.
Somewhere in
We
there.
still don't know.
Yeah.
How.
Who knows? Who knows?
But are we that surprised? I don't know. I think I know a good number of folks we went to school with, so no wonder I know you too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then, most importantly, I didn't even put this on a piece of paper, but in 2023, the 3 of us go see Willie Nelson.
Oh,
We go see Willie Nelson.
That was definitely a count.
That was the first time I met Trent.
Yeah. I think I just trusted you both. I think I just had you both kind of trust me, like trust me, you'll vibe with this person.
Yeah, I wasn't
Like, see
worried.
Willie.
I wasn't worried about it. Like,
I was focused on the fact that we were seeing Willie.
yeah, I didn't really care. I
If
was
I'm
like,
overly
whatever.
honest, I
Like,
feel like what may have happened is I may have asked both of you thinking one of you would say no. And so I was like, well, this way I'll still get to go. One of them will say yes. And then you both said
look at
yes.
the
And I was just like,
snow.
cool.
And now when you're out of town, I'm taking him to concerts. Like,
Yeah, guys, I went out of town for a week. I was in New York for a weekend. And Arden and Trent went to see the Eagles.
for free, mind you.
Yeah, it worked out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about this off camera, but the Eagles are the Eagles. Let's talk about that too. Let's talk about Willie. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the Eagles as far as seeing legends live, because I've also
Nelson.
seen the Eagles a couple years back.
Yeah.
So, what's it like to get to see, as a performer and writer, as enthusiasts of music, what's it like to get to see folks like this who are still doing it, but maybe you don't know for how long?
Yeah, I remember the 3 of us just constantly doing the countdown. Like, he has to live for 15 more days. Like, it was like there was this constant countdown of Willie Nelson and his health. Like, we were just so enthralled with the fact that we were going to see him.
I think there was like a reported illness.
Something
right before
happened,
that, or
yeah.
after that too, and we were like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
scary.
I think he got COVID or something.
Something,
But,
yeah.
I mean, and here he is on tour again this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. incredible person
Yeah.
and icon.
Yeah.
Both of those experiences were just incredibly inspirational. As what a performer can be, like what a band can be. Willie Nelson aligns more with kind of my style of guitar anyway, or at least in the my style of guitar I was familiar with for most of the time I've played guitar. But then seeing the Eagles and see Joe Walsh play guitar, and I mean really most of them, was so inspirational. And I feel like each time I took something away that I was able to bring into my own playing. Honestly, a through line between both of those performances actually is just phrasing and incredible. The way that when they play guitar, it feels like someone's singing, right?
Yeah.
It feels like someone is singing phrases to you, and that I think is just incredible.
Yeah.
And I try to take that with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I saw the Eagles a couple years ago. And I had the Eagles' greatest hits in my CD changer in my car in high school. Like, when I played the prom junior year, I drove home listening to that CD.
Yeah.
You know? Or I mean, Willie's Willie. You know? But like, even like, I remember getting really into some of that, honestly just acoustic music, but country influenced acoustic in addition to old school country.
Yeah.
Around the time of COVID, maybe because I was living like in a more domesticated way than usual, and I was just kind of bonding with that kind of rustic feeling of that music. But like connecting with Willie really at that point in my life, and then it being, you know, again, kind of like the Eagles a few years later. You're seeing these performances, and these are not performers they're not incredibly physical performances. They're not they don't change it live. Yeah. Like, I mean, I just mentioned this in our last episode too. Like, I saw Springsteen at the Garden. That's a very physical performance. And that's somebody who, by his own words, like, his songs are a template for what he can do with them live. You go to see the Eagles, and you expect to hear it like the record. You know, you go to see Willie, and like maybe he changes some phrasing a little or whatever. I mean, some of that probably comes with age too. But again, he's not trying to change the song per se. But both Willie Nelson and the Eagles, I think, deliver in such a way that they can just stand perfectly still and sing or play. And you just feel the presence of an artist. They're not trying to win you over by doing flashy things or big things or bold things. Their boldness comes from them just being. And being confident that their catalog stands.
Some of the most profound moments in like both of those performances were when you just see a line of people standing shoulder to shoulder delivering some like incredible group singing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, the start of Seven Bridges Road, I don't even think they have the lights on for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're just all hitting, you know, they're just singing together. And it's just like, wow, this group of people is still harmonizing all these years on. But did you have any other thoughts on that? Or I didn't mean to get off on a tangent.
No, I think Willie Nelson and sort of that era of music, Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, Patsy Cline, a little bit of Johnny Cash, like that is all, I mean, like Buck Owens, like that is all what I feel like half of my life I was raised in the 60s or the 70s. And then the other half of my life I was raised in the 40s and the 50s because I spent my summers with my grandparents growing up. So it was whatever Grampy had on his CD. And he would burn these CDs. Him and my dad would burn these CDs and give them to me for me to play in my little pink little radio. My 50s music, I had this big stack of CDs that they were just all labeled Arden's 50s music because my grandpa was just so deliberately adamant that I had this music. And I loved it. I played them all the time. It was Willie Nelson. It was Patsy Cline. It was Patti Page. It was all these other, I can't even think of, like Laverne Baker, more like Doris Troy, like all this like borderline Motown kind of like things that were just in the car all the time. So I was just constantly being fed this older something that felt more rich, like it had a story, like it had been around for a while. And that's kind of what I hooked on. Like, it wasn't because I'm like, oh, the Beatles are the best band in the business because they're old and they're like more wiser than you. No, it's because it had this connotation that it was like, it has been here and it has seen the test of time. And I was a little kid, like 2, 3, 4 years old, bearing witness to things that had been around for decades. And to me, they were fresh. And it was the coolest thing to kind of feel that thread. Like, it was just, I love that.
To me, one of the greatest things that generation did musically was not the arrangements, was not the singing, but lyrically, they were very concise.
Yes.
And back here on the back of the set, it's faintly in the background here, but we have a coffee table book of Willie Nelson's music called Energy Follows Thought. And each page, there's like his lyrics, and then there's like a reflection on it. But sometimes it's most profound to just flip through and just read the lyrics. You don't need an explanation.
Yeah.
And they're very simple phrasings. We even joke about this. Like, where like Willie could be like, why do the green leaves turn brown? And you're like, why do they?
Right.
You know, and we say it in a joking way, but in a very sincere way, that is true. You know, like, you don't have to have a super artsy, poetic, deep, you know, rich storytelling. You could actually just say something very, 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 very simple. Yeah. And it hits twice as hard sometimes. Yeah. And I think that's one thing that you do incredibly well.
Thank you.
In your songwriting. And I'm jumping around here because I think it's just the perfect segue. You demoed a song called Tipsy for us in college. And I just need you to talk about that song because it was and is phenomenal. Like, what do you think is the secret sauce there?
I remember, I don't know if I have an answer for that question, because I wrote the song on assignment for a class. We had to write, or at least my assignment, I had to write a country song. And the song was due like the next day. And I'm like, crap, I have to write a country song. I'm like, what is a country song? I'm like looking up all these things. That's like, how do I define this? How do I write this? And at some point, I'm just like, forget it. Like, whatever. I don't understand. I don't know what I'm going to turn in. And there was this person at the time I was pretty hung up on. And I remember I was in the car with 2 other friends who were just talking about this party they had been at the night before. And one of them said the word tipsy. And I was like, oh, like, that's my song. And I like wrote it down on my phone and like put it in my pocket. And my friends and I, we get to this meeting, this school thing we were going to. And I'm sitting there in the meeting on my laptop, just writing the song. And it flew out of me in order, in sequential order. And when I did the edits to the song, I changed 2 lines. And that song came out of me in 4 minutes. And I don't remember feeling like I had a good song until I got home and I put the music to it. And I thought, how the hell did I do this? I was like, where did this come from? But it reminds me, I was thinking about this on the car ride over here. One of my professors, my first year, this is like during COVID, this is like everybody's screwed up. Nobody knows what's going on. We can't see the bottom half of everybody's faces. Like, it's just a wreck. I was in a songwriting class with Jody Marr, who's my professor at the time. And I just remember her saying, you know, we all have this antenna that's able to kind of reach out and take in the feelings, take in the surrounding, take in the, you know, whatever it is that people feel and experience. But there's only 1% of us that actually do something with it. And I remember her looking at all of us and saying, you are part of the 1%. And I just remember being like, whew, like, I got chills right now thinking about it. Just thinking about how lucky I am for that to happen. And it doesn't happen all the time. Don't get me wrong. I'm furious now over songwriting.
It happens for Arden a
furious.
lot, and I can tell you that at home,
No, it
I
doesn't.
can't prove that to you because I respect Arden's privacy. But I want you to know that I'll get a text at 3:00 on a Sunday from Arden that's just a voice memo, and I just listen to it, and it's just phenomenal. And it's just and it's the same thing. It's born out of 4 minutes. It's just a word, a phrase, something. You brought a guitar with you.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us a taste of Tipsy?
Yeah, I'll give you a taste of Tipsy. She's a wine glass on the dresser, a natural disaster. T-shirt dripping down to her knees. She's a love song stuck inside her head. Last night's records on the bed, spin an angel of the third degree. Blurry like a vision I can't forget. I can't help that I like when she starts to get a little bit tipsy, like the first time we danced to Have I told you lately, like the first time that I knew? Won't tell a soul that she kissed me. I was falling on into her completely, 'cause we were tipsy. Yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna put like confetti and stuff.
Yeah. That deserves
Awesome.
huge amounts of praise.
Thank you.
It's such beautiful imagery, and just you take us right there to the setting and bring and start tapping into. As an outsider listening into this story, I feel like I can understand the emotion like that. Like,
Yeah. I think it was definitely subconsciously ended up being sort of a play on words, because, you know, tipsy, like alcohol drinking, whatever, but also the tipsy, the rockiness of a relationship, but then also the music is that kind of like,
Yeah. It
like
kind
it
of
was-
flows like waves.
right. There was something I remember in an AP English class that I took. It was when we were talking about, this is how much of a nerd I am, the syntax and the diction, and how the syntax, the structure of the sentence would match the words or the feeling that the sentence was talking about. There's we had to read As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner when I was a junior, and I remember encountering that for the first time. Just looking at the layout of the sentence and how it's resembling what they're talking about, and I was like, that is a tool.
Yeah.
That's a skill also.
One of my favorite songwriting tips, and I don't remember where I heard this. It might have been from Dwayne O'Brien in Curb College. It might have been somewhere else.
Sponsored
I don't
by
remember.
Curb College. Not really, but Curb College, if you want to sponsor
Not-
my friends.
Hey,
If you want to sponsor my
Yeah.
friends.
we're here,
We'd
Curb.
be so grateful.
We'd be deeply grateful.
Yes. Deeply.
Well, one of my favorite tips was like when you're writing lyrics and when you're delivering lyrics, it should be at the speed that you would say them.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're talking about something exciting, you'd be talking really fast. You'd be really excited about it, and you'd be, right? And it's going to be an upbeat song.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about something that's maybe heartbreaking or something that's emotionally complicated, there's more poignance,
Right.
more breath.
Yeah.
The phrasing is a little shorter. There's a little bit more gap between the lines, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you're looking for humongous songs that replicate this, I would say, for an example of something fast, Mr. Brightside.
Yeah.
Right? That song is just somebody telling a story, and it's just all pouring out of them, and it's very quick, and they're overwhelmed. And then a slow one, a poignant one, Purple Rain.
Yeah.
Like a song that doesn't have a lot of words. There's a lot of space to just feel the things being said, being sung. And it's something that you have consistently done beautifully.
Thank you.
In everything you've written.
Thank you. I don't know where it comes from. It's just like
the antenna.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's also definitely a realm, sort of like a spiritual realm almost too there, that is connecting people that do this kind of thing. Creating, like, whether that's like visual art or like, I think writing songs has its own little box of, you know, special things and gold shiny things. But
Yeah.
I think there's some sort of spiritual realm. There's energy that lives in that allows you to do that. And I've learned recently, because I feel like I've been so down on my luck recently, just in creativity, and I've just been having a hard time writing things and being true to myself. But energy can't be created or destroyed, right? So there's always something that you can pull from. And I always try to go back to that when I'm thinking, like, I can't get anything, I'm feeling really stuck. It's like, no, like, there is a feeling, and there is a story, and there is a person, a time, and a place. You just gotta look for it. You just gotta open your eyes.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes that's where a co-write can make all the difference.
Right.
You specifically asked that we talk about this, so I'm going to let you. But I'm going to ask that you tell it from your perspective.
Okay, I'm ready.
This time next year.
This time next year.
Go ahead.
Thank goodness.
Tell us about it.
I am flying back to Nashville after being somewhere. Was I in Austin?
I mean, you were home for the holidays, I think. But
Was
I
it
don't.
really that long ago?
Yeah, because it was the first
It would have
weekend of
been-
January.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cut that out. Just put a bunch of bleeps over that.
We don't have to bleep. We don't have to bleep. Unless you're worried about
I'll
somebody
take it
hearing
out
you.
if you don't like it.
Yeah, I work with. I
work with-
teach.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
I'm a teacher. Anyways, Dan picks me up from the airport because I'm like, I need a ride. So obviously, I'm going through my list of people, and conveniently, Dan's free. And I'm like, this is great.
Which, like, never, by the way, never, it was a Sunday. It never happens on a Sunday. It just so happened to happen on a Sunday.
Yeah, you just happen to be around, you know, that morning, and I was like, I could really use breakfast. Like, let me treat you to breakfast if we can make a pit stop somewhere before you drop me off at my house. So Dan's like, have you ever been to Brown's Diner? I'm like, I don't know what that is. Dan's like, oh, you're about to find out. So we go on to Brown's
One
Diner.
of John Prine's favorite places. God rest his soul. You want to talk about
Rest in
incredible
peace.
lyricists.
Rest in peace, John Prine. Yeah. So we end up at Brown's Diner, and I'm like, this place is awesome. We get our coffee. Dan gets decaf like a wimp. I'm like, I'll take fully caffeinated coffee. I like just got off the plane. I like look gross. I feel gross. We're sitting in Brown's Diner, and Dan is telling me this story about this thing that is currently happening in his life. And he said something to the effect of, I don't want to put any pressure on you, but I need you to write this song. And I'm like, okay, first of all, no pressure. Got it. No pressure. You know, it's this story with like a lot of imagery and a lot of thoughts and feelings. And, you know, you have to be delicate and you have to be sensitive when you're talking to other people. But like, Dan's my bro. You know, I feel like.
Which is why I
like,
felt so
yeah.
comfortable word vomiting the whole thing.
Yeah, it was great. And I'm just sitting there, like, Dan's got, like, his waffle or whatever, and I've got my eggs in my bin. I'm just, like, sitting there eating, drinking my coffee, and Dan's telling me this whole thing.
And apparently, so I'm told, I'm like in the midst of my rambling of like, there's this girl and I don't know and blah, blah, blah. And I said this and she said that. Apparently I went, I mean, I don't know, like we'll see where we're at like this time next year, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I put that in my back pocket. I stole that from you. I
didn't know I said that.
I
it
love
was just in my
stealing
word
things.
vomit.
I'm a thief. I'm a klepto. That's why I'm a kleptomaniac with words. I steal words all the time, and it's not the same as copying, and it's not the same as taking from other people's art, because I don't believe in that, and I think that's a load of BS. But when people are talking or in conversation, my little ears,
Your antenna.
I pick up on that pattern, that sequence. And Dan said this time next year, and I didn't even say anything when he said it. I put it in the back of my mind, and I was like, that's my title. I can work from there. And I think you dropped me off, and 30 minutes later, I was like, here's your song. It's
Well,
like, here's your verse
so Arden,
and your chorus.
if I may, I'll interject with my end of the story.
That's fine.
I fully expected nothing less than 30 minutes after she gets out of my car, she has the song. But we're at lunch and I'm telling her this story, and again, there's this, blah blah blah. I'm word vomiting. It's all over the place. I'm like, it all just happened. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, you got to write the song. And she's like, if you give me a few days, I'll see what I can do. And I'm thinking, a few days, like. You don't need a few days, but I don't say these things, of course. I'm very polite about it. I'm just kind of like, okay, like, that's fine, whatever, And then, again, like 30 minutes after I drop you off, you send me a voice memo, and you're like, here's your first verse. Your first verse is in your chorus. And I text her back with a little bit of the same thing she gave me, and I'm like, great. I'm about to go to a basketball game. I'll see what I can do with this later.
I was on pins and needles waiting for you to listen to it.
Between
I was going to throw up.
3:30 p.m. and like 3:38 p.m., I'm like, here's the second verse.
Yeah. But then you ended up coming over and we worked on it in person too. Remember? Yes. You ended up coming over not long after that.
And we finished it.
And then a week later we demoed it.
Went to Trent's to demo it.
And I was after that demo too. After I sung my part, I was done. I was like, all right. I was just sitting there. I was like, words are done. My part's done.
I'm hanging out.
I'm like, the boys can do this. And when I sent it to Dan the first time, he was trying to figure out how to play it, and I didn't tell him it was in open D.
We were picked. I mean, you are an incredible guitarist, but like, you also didn't like name the chords. Like, you named them, but you didn't call them whatever.
I named them after people that we know. So when I had
She's like, play the Trent chord.
Yeah, and it's like, this was the Trent shape, and then I think there was there was a Jacob, there was a Danny. Yeah, there was a Mike.
There was a Mike.
Yeah, I think there might have been one more, but I don't remember who it was. But I named them after people because the way that my brain works, I don't know what this is called. I almost failed out of theory. I don't know what that is, but I can draw the tablature on a piece of paper and draw the little circles, and I can remember what the sequence is. Danny, Mike, Trent. Great, done. That's all I need to know. It's like memorizing GDC. It's the same thing. But when I was first writing it, I was sitting in my room. I didn't even have the pen and paper. I didn't even have the guitar. And I was just like sitting there, and I was like, this time next year, da 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 da. And I was like, that's kind of cool, like kind of like a little piano kind of feel. So then
it's got a little bit of Desperado.
Yeah, and the guitar was already in open D, so I just like threw a capo. You know me, capo on the 3rd fret. That's my homie, right? I'm putting that thing either here or here. There's only 2 options. So I threw it on there, and I was trying to figure out the little, and I was like, great, there's my little interlude. So then I'm thinking, or whatever the actual musical term is for that, I don't know, but it was I was just like, this time next year, we'll know the truth. How you've been feeling about me, how I've been feeling about you. And then I was thinking, like, I gotta do a little play on words. So it's like, this time next year, this time tomorrow. Like, how is this going to feel in the long run, but also how is this going to affect me now? And this story's not about me. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I love 2 things about this.
I met this girl twice. I'm like, I don't know anything about this situation except from my friend's POV.
I love 2 things about it. One, I think, and this is what I basically asked of you and what I hoped of you and what I expected of you, which was that you would internalize this enough. Hey, don't put that down. Don't put that down. That you would internalize this enough that you would find the emotion of it to write from that place of that emotion.
And that's what happened.
Yes. And then the other thing is, going back to the Willie Nelson thing and the kind of phrasing thing and all that, you wrote a song that feels like the narrator is speaking it as it's happening. They're figuring it out. They're thinking it out. They're talking it out in real time as it's being played. Yeah. And it's so damn melancholy. I love it. It is a beautifully optimistic song, but damn, is it melancholy? And that resonates with some part of me. Melancholy stuff always does.
Yeah.
But I said to Arden after she sent me the voice memo, like, of the first verse and chorus, I was like, you wrote my song. Like, Like that's a
And
me
I
song.
still
That
get
sounds like
texts
something
from
I
him
write.
to this day about this song. Like every week, every other week, he's like, I can't thank you enough. I'm like, I just took what you said and put it on a piece of paper. Like, you
Okay,
gave me the material.
All right, do it. And if I feel like it, I might join you.
Oh, shoot, I don't remember the freaking words, man.
She started putting the guitar down. Like she played as far as she remembered.
This time next year, we'll know the truth. How you've been feeling about me, how I've been feeling about you. This time tomorrow, I'll be out of my head. I can't help but miss you, darling. Replay every word that you said. When the clock struck at midnight, streamers fell to the floor. You held me so tight, like maybe we've done this before. No, I ain't gonna rush it. No, I ain't gonna disappear. Maybe we'll be everything we're dreaming of by this time next year.
This time it's different than it was in the past. Yeah, the heartaches, the heartbreaks, the mistakes, we've been through all that. And this time's a moment, yes, a moment in time that I'll cherish regardless of what comes for the rest of my life. When the clock struck at midnight, streamers fell to the floor. We were counting down 3, 2, 1. We were left wanting more. No, I ain't gonna rush it, but I ain't gonna disappear. Maybe we'll be everything we're meant to be by this time next year. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot the ending.
Yeah, we can hold from our listeners till when we put this out somewhere
Sounds
somehow.
good. All right, somewhere somehow.
But I think you knocked that one absolutely out of the park.
Thanks, buddy. You too. It was awesome. I mean, as long as we've known each other, that was the first time we've ever collaborated.
Yeah.
I've heard you're picky, but the thing is, I'm even more picky than you are with, I feel like, who I write with and what I
think
write about.
I basically, this is a funny way to say this, but I basically get pee shy. Like, I can't write in front of other people. I have to take it somewhere. And that's part of why this worked was you gave me half of a song and then it gave me a template to follow, but also allowed me space to say some more.
Yeah.
And it allowed me to give you a second half of a song.
Yeah. And then we finished the rest of it together.
And Trent made a killer demo of
Yeah.
it, which, again, if you're listening at home, maybe you'll get to hear that someday.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
But you've absolutely cracked the code on songwriting, which, and we're not the only people who know that.
I don't know about that, but
I think that actually is a beautiful segue into fan questions. The first question is directly about your writing. Trent, you want to kick us off?
Sure. Our first listener asks, when you sit down to write a song, what headspace do you go to focus your energy?
I don't go to a specific headspace. I need to be in whatever headspace I am in that moment for that song to be true and for that song to come out of me. I do not force a headspace, one thing about me, which is also why sometimes I pick up the guitar and I play one chord and I'm like, I'm done with this. And then I don't pick it up for like 2 weeks. So it's a double-edged sword, right? So there's really no specific headspace. I mean, I definitely like to be in an area physically of comfort, like on my couch or on my bed, or like I like to be in a room with things and or people that I know that's familiar to me can help. But to be in the headspace I need to grab whatever the antenna is trying to grab, I need to be exactly where I am. And if that's like so pissed off, then that's so pissed off. Because if I try to recenter myself and get like, okay, we're gonna come to this area, it's not gonna work. Because I'm like, oh, now I'm feeling relaxed. What was I mad about? Then the idea, gone. Never gonna get it back. So yeah, that's about it.
This is one we kind of touched on earlier, but I want to ask it anyways and give you the chance to maybe elaborate a little more specifically on this.
Cool.
How did you discover songwriting? Because we know you've always been into writing, and we know that you've kind of loved music your whole life. As a baby, you needed it to fall asleep.
Yeah.
When did you discover specifically songwriting? How did you discover it?
That's a great question. I don't think I really remember the exact moment. I mean, I know I was about 9 or 10 maybe, because I wrote that song for the talent show when I was like 10. And there was always music in my house growing up, and there was always this untold, this unsaid narrative that I was lucky enough and still am lucky enough to feel from my family that was like, whatever you need and whatever you want to do it. As long as I'm not like dealing drugs on the street, you know what I mean? Like, as long as I'm not doing something detrimental, it was always, you know, I wanted to be in softball, they put me in softball. I wanted to do gymnastics, they put me in gymnastics. I wanted to play guitar, they bought me a guitar. Like, I am just so fortunate for that I think that just kind of comes from the fearlessness that comes with that. Like, just writing stories all the time and just kind of thinking, oh, I can put music to this because John Lennon and Paul McCartney do it, and Johnny Cash does it, and Elton John does it. All these people can do it, so why can't I do it? It just kind of worked out.
That's a beautiful optimism that I love.
Yeah, and you know, it comes and goes these days. It's more like optimism, like 100 yards at the other end of the football field that I'm like waving at, and it's like screaming at me to please pay attention to it. But but it's there. It's still there.
Yeah. Another listener asks, how did Jackie O and JFK meet?
Gee, I wonder if you can guess who that listener is.
That'd be from my freshman year roommate, Ella, who had to listen during COVID to so many songs. She had me, I didn't get into the songwriting program the first try. She had to listen to me film that freaking audition video so many times until I was ready to put it out there. Jackie O and JFK met. He was in a scrapyard eating sheet metal, and he asked her if she wanted any.
Eating sheet metal.
And he asked Jackie O if she wanted to share.
Wow. Fellas, the bar is low. The bar is on the floor.
Huh. As I'm staring at him.
Oh, yeah, he's back there on the shelf.
Man.
All right, one more question from a listener. A very simple one. Hook 'em horns?
No, who said that? Who said hook 'em horns?
Do you want me to out him?
Him? Oh, freaking. Is it Gabriel?
Yeah.
I thought he deleted Instagram.
I may have texted him.
I thought you
before
deleted
this.
Instagram.
I may have texted him before this.
That's how he knew I was doing this, because he texted me and he's like, "Are you excited for tonight?" And in my head, I'm thinking, like, did I tell him I was going to Danny and Trent's? I mean, I tell Gabe everything, but, like, also I was like, did I tell him I was doing that? And to that I say, horns down. I'm sorry. I'm not. Sorry.
Well, Arden, I'm going to keep bullying you into one day releasing your music. But
That's fine.
in the meantime, as you play shows in and around Nashville, we want our audience to be able to see you play.
Cool.
Where can they find you on social media to keep up with all that?
So my music page is Arden's Songs. So Arden's Songs. And then my personal is Arden Sings. It's private, but if you look familiar, I'll let you follow me. Yeah.
There you go. We'll have her music page linked in the
Yeah.
description of this episode. Obviously, check our feed, check her feed. We'll try to keep an eye out for her rounds, and we'll try to promote those as well.
Yeah. I'll be around. I'm looking for co-writers. I'll be around.
Oh, because we're not good enough for you?
No. You need to find a love interest for me to write about. And you need to update me on some other developments so that I can write about. So currently, right now, they are not good enough for me. No, these guys are always, I'm a big fan. You know, and then also, shout out to Belmont University. Because, like, didn't know it existed, toured, fell in love with it, global pandemic, rolled up, met all these people that I was like, I don't even know what's going on. None of us know what's going on. We're like 18. Things are scary. We're writing songs. We're sharing stories. We're getting slushies. We're going to see Willie Nelson. Like, there was such a real integration and I think promotion at Belmont of community. And not only just with friends and like roommates, but also with professors and people that taught you. Like, there was that space to be vulnerable and to be yourself. And as a creative, that's hard as heck to do. So shout out to Belmont University.
I've told this story before on this show, but I'll say real quick again that it was a dinner at Belmont that basically developed what became the mission statement of this show. There was a card on the table that said, "Tell a story about a time when you felt your interconnectedness with others."
Yeah.
And that word, interconnected, stuck with me.
Yeah.
And that has become the mission statement of the show, is like where musicians and their audiences go to grow interconnected.
Yeah.
We dumb it down and say mix.
Right. But the the grand pretty word for that would be interconnectedness, right? It's about your friends, your fans, your family, your artistry blending with ours, with our guests, and as you said, community, right?
Yeah.
And that's the majority of the people who've come on the show have ties to that community. Even the ones that didn't go to Belmont are networked with, 24 people who graduated with us.
We're everywhere.
So, yeah, from here to anywhere, maybe a mile up the road to tape this, but
From here to anywhere. For real. Let hope abound, brothers. Let hope abound.
let hope abound.
Let hope abound.
Thank you for being here, Arden.
Thank you,
It's a
guys.
gift.
I love you guys. I'm so
We
glad
appreciate
tonight.
We love you.
We love you. And that concludes our conversation with Arden Snead. We hope you guys enjoyed not only such an incredible, intentional, deep conversation about just really the beauty of music, but also some incredible performances on our show today as well.
If you guys liked what you heard, go ahead and follow Arden on social media. We will tag her one account that she has in the description of this episode, and I will work on convincing her to put some music out for you all. But hey, in the meantime, also go ahead and give us a follow at Mixing Room Podcast. You can find us on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and we'll keep posting clips from today's episode and those that we have yet to release. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and don't forget to make sure you guys are following on Spotify, subscribed on YouTube, wherever you actually listen to the podcast, so that you can listen to these exciting Season 3 episodes we have coming for you as well.
Like, comment, leave us a review, subscribe, Send us to your friends. Share our episodes. Post us on socials. We'll repost you. Anything we can do and anything you can do will go a long way as far as growing our audience and growing our artists' audiences, which is what we care about more than anything. And again, if you follow us on social media and you check that link in our bio, you will find our coffee page. Again, a simple way to support us. A little goes a long way. And we appreciate your support over the past year and a half that we've been doing this now. And we're going to see you very soon with more episodes for this season 3. But until next time, I'm Daniel.
I'm Trent.
We'll see you then.